I want you to imagine two different companies, same industry, similar size, comparable products. Company A follows the traditional playbook, top-down decisions, quarterly earnings focused, and sees their people as replaceable parts. Whereas Company B has embraced a people-first leadership strategy. Now, fast forward 3 years. What do we see? First is retention. Company B has turnover rates that are 30 to 50% lower than Company A. Now, let's do the math on that. The cost of replacing an employee is typically between 50 to 200% of their annual salary when you factor in recruiting and onboarding, lost productivity, and the pure cost of institutional knowledge walking out the door. I worked with a mid-sized tech company a couple years back that calculated they were spending $2.3 million a year just on turnover after implementing some people-first strategies, improving their onboarding, career development programs, and some transparent communication. They cut that by 40% in 18 months. That's nearly $1 million back into the budget every single year. The second is productivity. And I'm not talking about trying to squeeze more hours out of people. I'm talking about discretionary effort. When people give you their best thinking, their creativity, and their innovation. Gallup's research on this shows that highly engaged teams show a 21% greater profitability. And engagement isn't just some mysterious force. It's a direct result of how people are led. When people feel valued, when they see a future for themselves, and then when they trust that their leadership, they bring their A game. And the third is innovation. This is huge and often overlooked. Companies with people-first leadership cultures see significantly higher innovation rates. Now, why? Because innovation requires risk-taking, and risk-taking requires psychological safety. Think about it. If your people are afraid to suggest ideas that might not work, if they're worried about being blamed or even punished for mistakes, they're just trying to keep their heads down and survive. You're not getting innovation. You're getting the bare minimum. I saw this firsthand at a manufacturing company that I consulted with. They had a suggestion box that hadn't been used in years. After the leadership team started actually implementing some people-first leadership practices, really listening, creating safety, showing that ideas were valued even when they didn't work out. They went from 0 suggestions to generating 47 process improvements in the first 6 months. 47! And those improvements saved them over $300,000. The fourth is customer satisfaction. Now here, there's a direct correlation between employee engagement and the customer experience. Happy employees create happy customers. Now that seems obvious, right? But how many organizations treat their customer service team poorly? And then they wonder why customer satisfaction is tanking. And finally, we'll talk about talent acquisition. In a competitive market, people-first companies win the war for talent. The best people have options, and increasingly they're choosing employers based on culture, growth opportunities, and how they'll be treated, not just on salary. So when someone tells you that people-first leadership is soft, remind them that those millions in retained revenue, double-digit productivity gains, and competitive advantages aren't soft. They're smart business.